Hello everyone and welcome to the Red Bull Ice Cross World Championship and the final ATSX 500 stop of this season at the ski resort here in Igora, Russia. This event has been postponed twice already this season because of warm weather conditions, but it looks like we're finally going to get down to 500 racing here just before we get ready for the ATSX 1000 in Moscow a week from now. And before that all happens, we're going to have Egor Tutarikov give us a preview of this track here.
Hi everyone, we are here in Igora for the last ATSX 500 race of the season. My name is Egor Tutarikov and I will show you this beautiful track. Alright, this is gonna be the fastest start ever. 3, 2, 1, go! Dropping in. Hit the jump. Woo! That was smooth. 180-degree turn. Just gaining some speed here. Going down. And just gliding. Woo! I'm already tired a little bit. And left turn. Small drop. And volcano. Woo! I did it. And finish. Woo! Oh my. This was great track.
One final briefing before the riders get down to business of racing, and the organizers are still fighting with the warm weather conditions and are trying to save as much ice as possible. So they had to make a few concessions here with the racing because of those ice conditions.
Yeah, unfortunately we can't use the whole track, so the first part we can't use would have suited me really well, I think. But still the first straight is kind of technical, so I hope I can get ahead there and then just stay on my feet all through the finish.
The usually planned daytime event was delayed till late at night so the temperatures could drop below zero.
When we came in on Thursday, the ice was pretty weak. There was not real temperatures to improve it a lot. So the only time when it got cold again was last night. So they did a lot of work and everything was postponed to this morning, time trials. Yeah, but now the track is, I mean, it's usable. The ice will really wear out, I think, throughout the race. But it's doable and, you know, we just have to be very, very careful in what we do, how aggressive and how hard we go on it.
Athletes get involved in track maintenance, in this case marking critical spots on the course. These markings make it a little bit easier for riders to see where those holes and soft spots are during the racing.
So we had to work a lot on the track. We had to take some decision to cut practice, to cut time trial, to even cut the round of 64. So some problem that we are starting to get familiar with the sport. So this is why it's also really important to do good during time trials, is to at least make sure that you skate during the final. But for tonight, I'm confident that the ice is going to hold through the whole event, and hopefully no bad luck.
The junior race was already run earlier on with just 3 runs, and that's already had a big impact on the track. So the organizers and the athletes discussed what options were remaining.
So we checked the track. And it's 3 parts that are like, you just crack through.
The round of 32 had to be cancelled in order to maintain ice integrity.
But we believe round of 16 is going to hold. There is a very critical spot in the downhill part, is that all the middle left is you cannot skate, you cannot even walk there because the ice disappear.
After a Herculean effort by everyone involved, the ATSX 500 Igora is finally happening, and we're going to start things off with the quarterfinals, heat number 1. In this one, we got Pavel Kryukov and Denis Novosilov from Russia, along with Marco Dallago and Daniel Guiola. Out of the gate, a great start for Marco Dallago, who takes an immediate lead over that first really sketchy jump. Danny Guiola is neck and neck with Kryukov as they come to that first 180-degree turn. Guiola moves just out in front of Kryukov, but he is being chased hard. Marco Dallago has this one locked down so far. Critical part coming up here as they'll head towards that volcano jump. A really sketchy left hand towards the final, but this, look at all those blue marks on the course. It is insane. Danny Guola in. A big push to the finish line, but Danny Guola, I think it's going to be really close. It could go to Denis Novosilov, who made a great come from behind. Once again, a great start by Marco Dallago and Danny Guola out in front. And at that 180, they both came through 1 and 2, but Novosilov, good push from behind.
I thought I got it. Only slow-mo camera can show it. We don't know. It's really, really tight, maybe some millimeters.
And there's the picture at the finish line. Oh, it's Novosilov by a toenail. And there you go, it's official. Marco Dallago, Denis Novosilov moving on to the next round. Heat number 2, Joonas Koto, Michael Urban, Antti Tolvanen, Leevi Nakari. Leevi Nakari also racing in the junior division, so this will be a test for him.
Riders ready! 5 seconds warning!
Michael Urban's looking really strong this year as well, but Nakari gets out quick with Antti Tolvanen right with him, battling hard with Urban as they head towards that corner. Urban shoulder checks the tires, and it's Antti Tolvanen holding on to the second place behind Nakari in pink. The young Finn Nakari looking very good on a course that seems to be matching as some pushing and shoving happens between Tolvanen and Urban. And now Urban gets relegated back a little bit. Nakari pre-jumps that one. Beautiful. Tolvanen goes head first into the boards, and that left it wide open for Michael Urban, who comes across the finish line in second place. So out of the gate, a really good start by Nakari and Antti Tolvanen. Tolvanen struggled a little bit though on the 3rd or 4th step, but still managed to stay right there with Nakari right until the finish when he did a header into the boards, and Urban managed to avoid the carnage. A look at another angle there. Beautiful pre-jump from Nakari. Urban, he also got a little bit tangled up there, but still managed to avoid any drama, and that left it open for him to take second place and move on to the next round. Tolvanen going to be disappointed by that. He was looking really good in this one, but Leevi Nakari and Michael Urban moving on, and we move on to heat number 3 at the top of the course. Locked in on this one, Martin Nalowski, Joni Saarinen, Jim de Paoli, and Jack Schramm. Jack, super fit guy. He's been working hard on his starts. Jim de Paoli, the same. Wow, great start by Jim de Paoli and Jack Schramm. They take an early shoulder-to-shoulder lead heading towards that first 180-degree corner. Jim de Paoli sneaky on the inside, blocks the line beautifully, putting Jack Schramm into second place. Schramm, a strong skater though. Joni Saarinen trying to catch up in 3rd place. De Paoli and Schramm out in front. Saarinen right in the back pocket of Jack Schramm. And here comes Jack Schramm to the volcano. Oh! Gets in a bit of trouble. Goes too high, too far on the volcano. Ends up in 3rd place. And Joni Saarinen just sneaks in behind Jim de Paoli for that second and all-important position moving on. So wow, that will be funny to watch the replay here. Great start by de Paoli and Schramm over that double-triple roller set. On the brakes hard for that 180, and de Paoli nice and clean on the inside. Blocks the line, and here over the volcano is where it went south for Schramm. Toe pick on the way over. That was it for him, 3rd place and out, and a good push to the finish for Joni Saarinen and Jim de Paoli. Oh, look at that, Joni Saarinen with a toenail ahead of Jim, so those guys are moving on no matter what.
I had a bad start. We were sitting in the waiting area for like 1 hour, so the start was really bad. I couldn't get my legs moving, but I was good in the end, so yeah.
Quarterfinal heat number 4, Vaclav Kosnar, Luca Engler from Germany, Luca Dallago from Austria, and German Titov. This should be a good heat right here. Luca Engler has been working a lot on his starts. Got a good start. Oh, but this time, not so fast out of the gate. Vaclav Kosnar bringing back the rear, and it is a battle between German Titov and Luca Dallago, and there we see on board with Luca Dallago looking at the backside of German Titov, who has the lead, but here comes Dallago. A good push down that long straightaway, and Dallago's strong skating really powers him forward, heading towards this all-important volcano that's been drama for everybody all day long today. Luca Dallago going wide on the outside. Here comes Kosnar trying to push the line. It didn't work for him, and it's going to be German Titov just behind Luca Dallago coming across that finish line in first place. Nice job by those guys. Under these conditions, you got to respect the racing that's going on here. And a great start by German Titov, who took the whole shot just ahead of Luca Dallago.
Yeah, it was stressful. I was right behind Titov, and we knew we have to be careful in the first turns. So after I could pass him, fortunately, and then I just tried to stay clean until the finish, and solid start.
All right, so a really good and clean finish by Luca Dallago, and he gets to move on to the semifinal with German Titov. Women's semifinal number 1 in the gate: Amandine Kondroyer, Tatiana Lashina, Anaïs Morand, VERONIKA WINDISCH. VERONIKA WINDISCH, highly motivated. She's been strong as of late.
5 seconds warning.
Anaïs Morand has had good starts though, and again, she gets out quick with VERONIKA WINDISCH right there with her. Neither one of these ladies giving an inch, and VERONIKA WINDISCH is definitely the more aggressive of the two skaters. However, Anaïs manages to keep a good clean line and block VERONIKA WINDISCH as they head down that long straightaway. There's an uphill skate. WINDISCH trying to play catch up here as she gets just ahead of Anaïs Morand, heading toward the drop into the volcano. This is that key point now. WINDISCH around the corner looking for the line across the finish line. She's going to win this one. That's a psychological win for WINDISCH as well, taking it ahead of Anaïs Morand. So VERONIKA WINDISCH and Anaïs Morand will move on to the women's final.
Yeah, don't let anyone pass next time, because I was first out of start and then I got passed, and of course need to be smarter next time.
Anaïs is a great skater. She just needs to block a little bit better and she'll do well in the final.
Actually better than I thought. I expected a really bad ice because I saw the races before, but it wasn't that bad actually. So I felt it better than in the morning.
Well, VERONIKA WINDISCH obviously liking this track as we go to semi number 2 with Junko Yamamoto, Justine Zonne, Vicky Senestrusova, and Malgorzata Zinovits. Justine Zonne has been a revelation this season. The tall Latvian has been fantastic from early on, and she's just improved from event to event. And she's got a good start here. She got out of the gate pretty quickly. Will she be able to get an early lead? And Senestrusova is right in her back pocket as they head towards that 180-degree turn. Getting a little handsy with each other right there. Down this long straightaway, you can see now it turns into an uphill skate. This is where Zonne's long legs can really help her out. And it looks now like Junko Yamamoto trailing way back. Malgorzata Zinovits in second place, just ahead of the Russian. Oh, but she toe picks and goes down, leaving it wide open for Senestrusova to come through, and manages to come across that finish line in second place behind Justine Zonne. So they will move on to the final. Unfortunate for Malgorzata Zinovits and Junko Yamamoto. They're eliminated from competition. You can see there Junko Yamamoto with a very tentative start out of the gate. Way back in this heat. Good battle around the corner for the first 3 women. Zinovits trying to find the line, and this is where she struggles to get over that volcano. But unfortunately for positions 3 and 4, they're eliminated from competition. So there you see Justine Zonne and Victoria Senestrusova will move on to the final. All right, time for men's semifinal. Denis Novosilov, Michael Urban, Marco Dallago, Leevi Nakari. Leevi looked really good in his earlier heat, fast out of the gate. He is going to be a big challenge for Marco and the others in this heat. Very fast start by Marco Dallago, though, takes an early lead just ahead of Leevi Nakari. Dallago so quick out of the gate, so good on his skates. And you can see Novosilov, who we were on board with there on that POV cam, goes down early at the 180-degree turn. He is back in the mix, though, well back, in fact. Nakari just behind Marco Dallago as they head towards the volcano. Marco going wide on this one. Interesting choice by him, but he and Nakari will come across the finish line 1 and 2, and that means they're going to the final. And Michael Urban and Denis Novosilov eliminated from action here today. That was an intense race up at the top. These guys were elbowing and throwing arms all over the place towards that first corner. Unfortunately, Novosilov got the worst of it there, going down early. Let's look at this again here. Novosilov getting a little bit of help on the way down from Michael Urban. Very interesting.
I had good start, so I was staying behind Marco all the way to the end.
Marco Dallago and Leevi Nakari coming across that finish line clean in 1 and 2. And there you see former world champion Dallago and the junior, who is doing very well in the men's division here in Igora, in the mix. Now, semi-final number 2, German Titov, Joni Saarinen, Luca Dallago, Jim de Paoli. Jim's been looking great, has a chance to be on the podium for the first time this season in a 500 event. Wow, look at that start. All 4 guys shoulder to shoulder over that first jump. A nice little pump by Jim de Paoli, and he gets out in front of Luca Dallago. Dallago is very sneaky in those corners, though, and here's a long straightaway. This is an area where Jim de Paoli is good. He is very strong and ever so good at blocking in those long sections here. Luca Dallago trying to find a line to get past the Swiss rider. Dallago in second place, Jim de Paoli in first on that one, and they're going to be moving on to the final. Great battle by German Titov. Unfortunately for him and for Joni Saarinen, they can hang up their helmet and watch the rest of the racing. It's only 1 more to go. Look at that start, though. All 4 of those guys dead even to the first drop, and then de Paoli and Dallago move ahead of the other 2, and that was all she wrote right to the very bottom of the course. De Paoli looking super strong here in Igora. It was still good around that tire turn, but here at the finish, oh yeah, German Titov had a little bit of trouble, Joni Saarinen as well, and that's been trouble for a lot of people today.
Very weak.
Okay. It was quick, there is a lot of holes you need to be aware of, but if you think too much as well, it's gonna make you a bit slower, so we're supposed to know where is the weak spot, where is the good spot. Use this. Now there is only 1 run left, so it's all in, and let's see what happens.
Women's final for all the marbles here in Igora. Victoria Sinistrusova, Anaïs Morand, Justine Zonne, Veronika Windisch in this one. This should be a good heat. A 4-way battle I can see happening here.
5 seconds, warning!
Wow, great start by Veronika Windisch, who got out like a shot. Justine Zonne right there with her. Sinistrusova goes down in a heap over the rollers and has to struggle from behind as the rest are going the opposite direction around the 180. Oh, Veronika Windisch catches a hole in the ice and leaves the gate wide open for Anaïs Morand, and Justine Zonne out in front now, 1 and 2, and there's a huge gap between 2 and 3. It's a never give up attitude, but all these 2 ladies have to do is come across that finish line on their skates, and they are going to be victorious. Anaïs Morand wins yet another one and puts 500 points in the bank. Justine Zonne, a great result for her as well, coming in second place, and I do believe that it is Sinistrusova that is coming across the line in third place, and Anaïs, ever the fair competitor, goes over and gives Veronika Windisch a hug. But look at that, the elation by Anaïs, who had a great race here, a little bit slower than usual by her out of the gate, as Veronika Windisch was out like a rocket. And right here, Sinistrusova had a lot of problems. She just didn't have the control over the rollers there, but she didn't give up. She got back up and back on her skates and managed to take third place.
Actually, I don't really know. Suddenly my leg wasn't there anymore where it's supposed to be. There were some ruts on the ice, and I think I just stepped into one, which was, I didn't take care enough.
Yeah, and that was a bit of an unfortunate situation for Veronika Windisch because she's been very good this season. So she gets 4th place, but there you have your top 3 women here in Igora. Victoria Senestrosova, Justine Zonne, and that woman right there from Switzerland, Anaïs Morand. So here we have the official results with the points. Anaïs taking 500, Justine 450, and Victoria 400.
Right now I don't really realize because it was such a weird day. We almost didn't sleep at night. It was really a special day for everyone. Organizer did the best, but like now it's hard to realize I won, but I will, and I will be very happy.
All right, back to the top of our race course. There you see Leevi Nakari. That's Luca Dallago. There's Jim de Paoli. And right in there with them, it is Marco Dallago. This should be a really, really intense race. The Dallago boys in the middle, right-hand side of your screen from Switzerland. Jim de Paoli, left-hand side of your screen from Finland. Leevi Nakari, who has been absolutely great here today. It seems like this event has been a breakout event for him. He's been solid all season long with the juniors, but he's never really battled this well with the men. Again, a nice start by Jim de Paoli, getting out to a quick lead, but Marco Dallago right there trying to cut him off into that first corner. Marco gets a bit too hard on the brakes, loses an edge and goes down, and now we're on board with Luca Dallago, who is sitting right behind Jim de Paoli. Leevi Nakari sitting back in 3rd place, and here comes Marco Dallago. That never give up attitude from the two brothers is showing strong with Marco sitting back in 4th place. De Paoli goes hard down. Oh my goodness, he slips just at the finish line, and he left it open for Luca Dallago to come across in 1st place, and he's won himself another 500 event. Leevi Nakari is going to take 2nd place here in the event. A fantastic result in the men's division for him, and a very disappointed Jim de Paoli came across in 3rd place. Oh my goodness, what a result with Jim de Paoli leading that race from top almost to the bottom, and it was just a small toe pick by de Paoli at the finish line that left it wide open for Luca Dallago.
I really gave everything. I closed the inside on the last corner to make sure that nobody would jump. And this made me jump a little bit too far outside on the track, and sadly I put my foot where I should not have. So I lost my balance there.
Marco Dallago clearly happy for his younger brother Luca, and I got to make a correction here. Jim de Paoli managed to slide across with his feet just ahead of Leevi Nakari, so he will take, in fact, 2nd at this event. Still, a great result by the junior racer Nakari coming in 3rd place here, and it's official. Dallago takes 500 points home, Jim de Paoli 450, Leevi Nakari 400, and that is a big deal for Luca heading towards the Moscow event and the big final for the season.
Yeah, this was really important for me, because now I think if I win Moscow and Kyle or Cameron finish 4th or worse, I could win the championship. I think, I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, this was the best I could do, the most I could do, so I'm really happy with that.
Switzerland's Anaïs Morand wins another one, getting 500 points for her efforts here in Igora, Russia at this ATSX 500. Justine Zonne from Latvia takes the 450 for 2nd place, and Victoria Senestrosova from Russia does well in her home country, winning 400 points. So in the overall standings, Jacqueline Leger and Amanda Tranzo, who were not present at this race, still holding down 1st and 2nd place respectively, but Anaïs Morand is now back in the running, catching up with the leading women, and that means it's going to be a big battle coming into Moscow, Russia. For the men, it was a great win by Luca Dallago, who bided his time in 2nd place throughout the entire race here and managed to just get past Jim de Paoli at the finish line. Leevi Nakari, his 1st podium in the men's division, in 3rd place. And that is all she wrote for Igora, Russia. In the men's overall standings, Cameron Nass and Kyle Croxall still tied for top spot, but Luca Dallago has now moved up in the ranking because Cam and Kyle were not here in Igora. So that means he is also in the running when we head towards the ATSX 1000 event and the final race of the 2019-2020 Red Bull Ice Cross World Championship season.